Hello, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is a Monday. As I am recording this, it is the Monday before my surgery, which will happen tomorrow. And by the time you see this, it's probably going to be maybe a month out from surgery. So hopefully I'll be well on my way to recovery by that time. Today's video is all about stitching. I have some whips. I have maybe a couple new starts. I have a couple things I might have kitted up, you know, with the idea that I'm going to be recuperating from surgery and maybe I might want something new and, you know, not able to go and get something new. So yeah, and I might have some things to show you that didn't get kitted up that I considered. So sit back, relax, get a cup of something, and let's get this boat on the shore. Today, the first thing I'm going to show you is the whips. So we're going to get those out of the way. And I'm going to start with Land That I Love from Teresa Kogut. Looks like that. Sorry, glare. The sliding glass doors are right across from me, and, you know, it gives good light, but you get glare. So this is Land That I Love. As I have talked about before, I am working this middle section right here. I had started the strawberry band and was going to, even though I didn't really care for it, I was going to continue to do it. And then I changed my mind and I ended up ripping it out and doing something different, which I explained, I believe, in the last video, I think. You know, when you record ahead, you forget. You forget. Especially me. I just forget all the time anymore. But anyway, I have made progress. Not a ton of progress, but I have made progress on it. I am stitching my piece on 40 count anthracite, which is a blue, and then I gave it a nice bath in walnut crystals to age it. So it's a darker, moodier blue than the original blue would be. And let's see, can I get it all there? Okay, there is my progress. As you can see, I've got the dates in now. I finished all the leaves on the left side and have started the, what would be like the stem maybe, on the right side. So tonight I will work on leaves, and that will be that until after I feel a little bit better after the surgery. So it's a little close-up kind of what I've done here in the middle is I kind of tweaked Little House Needleworks Liberty chart to make this, I explained it in the last 1 or 2 videos. And it's working out really good, I think. I like it with the rest. What do you think? What do you think? I did decide to go with not the bright red that's in here, but there's a darker red. And so I did decide to do red for the dates. And I do like that. I didn't like the bright red in there, but I do like the darker red. So that's my progress there. I'll have a little more tonight, and then I'll be done. The other thing I have worked on that you're aware of is the Extraordinary Bird Sal. If you haven't watched my videos before, I got a late start, and then I had to rip out multiple times on the structure of this. So this is what it looks like, and this structure gave me, it kicked my butt, but it did not win. That's the important part. It did not win. I won. So I have the structure done. I am working on the first feet, which is a spoonbill, and it is coming along okay. I don't have any, I haven't done that, which I did a lot of before. I'm not going to say the word though. And so everything's going quite well. This is where I'm at. And you can see that white spoonbill down there at the bottom. I'm going to bring it in. Hopefully you can see that. And that is where I'm at currently. It won't get work done until after, you know, after surgery, and I'm thinking clearly again, as clearly as I ever do. The other item I started, well, this was a start. Like I said, I needed to kit some things up just in case, and I did start a couple of them. So the first one that I kitted and started is Spring Sampler Fragment from Shakespeare's Peddler. This one came out at Market in March. And it calls for 40 count dark soil by XJU. I don't really know what color that is. So I just chose a dark fabric that I enjoyed. I have the, what did I do with them? I had the floss for it, but apparently I didn't grab it, so you're going to have to use your imagination on this one, because I don't. They were all in bags anyway, so you probably wouldn't have been able to see much of it. I'll show them to you next time. How's that? So I started in the upper left-hand corner, which is where I prefer to start things. And I'm working on the border. So I don't have a lot done because I only worked on it for, I think, 2 days. But that's where I'm at. This fabric is 40 count vintage Vogue. Really pretty color, but I can't remember who it's dyed by. Seraphim, I think. And as long as I was at it, I went ahead and cut a piece of that for the companion piece, which is the Summer Sampler Fragment, which looks like this. They use a lot of the same colors, not 100%, but a lot of the same colors. So that's nice. And again, she used the same 40 count dark soil. So I just thought they were kind of pretty and would stitch up cute for a, you know, bowl filler. Yeah, for a bowl filler. What else can I tell you while I'm putting this back in? Not much. If hopefully you are aware that Doreen and Sherry are covering the shop for me while I'm gone. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be gone, only because I'm not sure what they're going to have to do yet, or how they're doing it. So that's yet to be determined. They'll figure it out, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to put that there. And then I, wasn't feeling really great this past week. So I wasn't feeling really ambitious at work. So when I wasn't helping customers, I went ahead and started something that I had kitted up, which was the Quirky Autumn 2025 from Twin Peak Primitives. And it looks like that. And I kitted up and I'm starting the quail. My plan is to do the quail, the turkey, and the squirrel. In what time frame? I don't know, but that is my plan. So here's, I don't know, maybe a slightly better picture of the quail. And the reason I decided to do the quail is because one time, many years ago, when Dan and I were traveling from Omaha to Sioux City to visit his mom, I happened to glance over to the side of the road and I saw this quail, and he literally looked like he had no neck. And so I said to Dan, I said, "Look, Dan, that quail has no neck." So quails have forever been no neck quails. So I figured this was the first quail chart I've ever liked, so that's what I'm going to do. I am stitching this on 40 count Verdal. Jennifer is the color name, and it's a Bestitch Me. If you haven't worked on Verdal, it's really nice. And I am doing this over one using a tent stitch. These are the colors. I thought it would look quite fallish if I put it on this green. And it's all DMC, and this is my wee little progress that I made. So it's going to be, that's about the size of my thumb. It's going to be tiny, because I want them to fit into a smaller bowl. So that is the stitching updates. I kitted up one other thing that I will show you. I haven't cut the fabric yet because I haven't decided on the fabric. But I will have to do that and then return the fabric to the shop today when I'm running errands. So this was also a market release. It is by Samplers Not Forgotten. And it is called the 1830s Rose Basket Needle Book. Looks like that. I, however, am not going to probably make it into a needle book. I like, let's see, there's other pictures of it. So there's the inside of the needle book. I was thinking more like I would take the main picture and then possibly I haven't decided for sure. Possibly take either part, a portion of this pillow, and then this portion here in the middle, and stitch them on the same piece of fabric, boom, 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 so I have a long, narrow finish. Because sometimes you have a long, narrow wall that you would like something on, and you just don't have anything small enough. So I thought that might be, since I don't particularly want to do a needle book. I could use this one too. And I really need to figure it out as to what I want to do. But anyway, I would probably put the, you know, maybe this one on the top, the other thing in the middle, and this one on the bottom, since it's got more weight to it, you know. So the heavier on the bottom. That's what I'm thinking. So I've got 4 different fabrics that I'm pondering. Ooh, 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 don't fall. My table is full. Okay, we're going to put that there. I have 4 different fabrics that I'm pondering. The first one is 40 count atypical from Mystic Fabrics. And it has got some beautiful modeling on it. There's some peachy pink to it and some darker brown. And I think with the colors, it would be very pretty. So that's option number 1. I would ask, you can weigh in on which option you like, but probably I might have already started it by the time. But it would be interesting to know whether, you know, what you like. I'm always interested in what you like and why you like that one the best. So feel free to leave a comment below letting me know. It will entertain me. Reading the comments will entertain me while I'm recuperating. So that was choice number 1. Choice number 2 is Willow 40 count from Bestitch Me. And it would look like that. Which would be very pretty. I think any of these that I chose would be beautiful. It's just a question of what is speaking to me, and that so far hasn't happened. But if I'm going to get this done before, you know, get the fabric cut before surgery, I probably need to figure that out today. Oh no, don't you fall off this table. Just a very basic color would be Cafe au Lait 40 count. It's a Zweigart color. It's one of my favorite beiges because it's just neutral. There's, you know, it looks good with everything practically. So that would be, ooh, that blue is showing up. It is not that bright, people. I don't know if it's showing up as bright blue for you, but it is not that bright. So that would be an option. Probably not the one I will pick. You could also guess which one I'm going to pick, which would be a good guessing game because I don't know which one I'm going to pick yet. All right, so the called for is Confederate Gray from Weeks Dye Works. This is 40 count. I think it calls for 36. This is 40 count Confederate Gray on the Zweigart base. And it looks like that, and which is like nothing in the picture. Looks nothing like the picture. Let me refresh your memory. Picture. fabric. Never go by the picture on the chart. Never, ever, ever. You can like the picture on the chart, but and you can make it look like the picture on the chart. But if you're one of those people that wants to do exactly what the designer says, it's not going to be that color. I may choose what looks good with the floss. I feel that what the designer says is a suggestion. Her dye lots are going to be totally different from my dye lots. That could have been this particular piece could be a retreat project from 2 years ago that she's just now releasing to the general public. And 2 years ago, dye lots were entirely different. So I always recommend, you know how Gibbs from NCIS has rules? I don't have too many rules, but one of my hard and fast rules is get your floss and then choose your fabric. It never ceases to amaze me, the people that just come in, they don't have their floss and they just, you know, oh yeah, that'll look good. And off they go. It makes my little tiny brain explode, because I can't imagine just, fabric is too expensive. I'd be very upset if I chose one and then it didn't work. So my rule number one, make sure you have your floss before you choose your fabric. You'll have a much better outcome that way. All right, and last but not least, a little bit out of the box, and to satisfy my dark fabric love, you know. This is Woodland Lichen. It is from Seraphim. Looks like this. And the colors look like that. What do you think? They all work on there. It would give it an entirely different look. And that's my dilemma right now. Is I like it on all of these fabrics. What kind of look? To me, this is a soft, pretty, you know, delicate, feminine look. And this dark fabric is beautiful, but it makes, to me, the colors look a little more bold on it. Still looks old because the fabric looks old, but the colors just look a little more bold. So I haven't decided. It's probably between Willow, Woodland Lichen, and the Confederate Gray. But I don't know which one I will choose. So, all right. Let's see. Sorry about that. The next thing I have to show you, this one I kitted up just because I wanted to see. I don't intend to stitch it. I like it. I like it a lot. But it's not high on my priority list to stitch anytime soon. But I do like it. I wanted to see, because the color palette is a little bit different. Very, very muted colors. I just kind of wanted to see what they looked like and what they looked like with fabric. So the chart I'm talking about is Goodness and Mercy from Teresa Kogut. It's a recent release. Looks like that. It has a, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Don't have glasses on, sorry. Forever. Psalm 23. I probably would change that particular verse to something else, but I like the sampler, and I like the muted colors. I feel like I'm missing a color, but I've double checked it twice. But to me, it looks like there's like a light silvery gray in that border. And there isn't really a silvery blue gray in this color palette. So I'm wondering if it's not going to be this 642. So I'm going to look right now. So we are all, I'm going to require glasses to do this though. So, well, see over there, it looks green. So that could be, it's an upside down U. The letter U, not a sheep U. Which would be, what? These mustn't be strong enough glasses, because it looks like an upside down U to me. But apparently it is not. It must be that color. Maybe. According to this, if I'm reading it correctly, it's 611, drab brown. So forget what I said about a silvery blue. It's that right there. But when I lay it down, it turns kind of a silvery blue. All right. Well, that mystery is solved. Anyway, I wanted to see what the fabric looked like with these colors. And oddly enough, I do have, it calls for Fox and Rabbit baked clay, 40 count. And I have a very small piece, not very small, but enough probably to kit one up, maybe. So I thought I would see what I like, and then because I don't have any more of this, some alternatives, just in case someone were to ask me, well, what do you have that would work? So I get it on video, and then I just have to refer to the video if I can't remember. So this is the baked clay. These are the colors. See how they're very muted? There is just not a lot of color in there. And they look good on there. I'm a little concerned about a couple of the browns showing up. Specifically the Weather Vane and the 611. And again, her dye lot could be different from my dye lot is pretty old. Like, pretty old. So it could be that baked clay is a little different now than it was way back in the day when it first, because I think this was when it first came out. Options, I have 36 count Mayflower Mocha that I think would work. This is a R&R color, and I was able to nab some from Hoffman's. That's about the only way I can get R&R fabric. So it would look good on here. And the added bonus is it smells good too, because it's been dipped in coffee. This is the first time I've had Mayflower Mocha, and I was looking at it and I'm like, well, gosh, that looks like vintage country mocha. And I think that's what they did. They took vintage country mocha, because it's plain on the back, and just, you know, coffee dyed it to darken it up a little bit and make it look a little older. And so vintage country mocha probably would work just as well. It's a little bit lighter, so maybe some of those beiges and browns that I was worried about might not work so well. But the third one I have is Ween Beans from Needle Bling. Looks like this. And there's what the colors look like on it. So which one is your favorite? Which fabric? I think there's going to be less trouble on with colors showing up on this Ween Beans than there is in the baked clay or the Mayflower Mocha. But I think any of them would work quite well. All right, I think we are down to one last thing. These are the charts that did not make the cut as far as kitting them up prior to surgery. We got a couple from well, no. We got one from Lila Studio, which is the Janet Parr sampler. Yeah, Janet Parr sampler. Looks like that. I thought it's really pretty. Uses all DMC from what I can tell. So I thought that was pretty. Thought about kitting that one up. Next one, I saw this stitched at market, and this picture does not do it justice. It was really, really pretty. So it's, what is this? Kindness Makes Friends. Looks like that. Got a nice house on it. Alphabet. Just, you know, kindness makes friends. It has bobbins and scissors, and, you know, it's just a very nice sampler, which I will kit up someday, just didn't happen this time. Gifts of the Season from Blackbird Designs. There are multiple. Let me take this one out. I think there are a couple of different projects in here. There's the big sampler, which is called Jane Fawn's 1825. There's also the Gifts of the Season. So I'm trying to figure out. So this is what the Jane Fawn's, well, this would be easier, sampler looks like. And then I think the Gifts of the Season, she just took a portion of that and put it together to make the next sampler, which is called Gifts of the Season and looks like that. Which would be the one I would choose rather than the big one, because. And then there's also the Attic, which is just a little, it's a little pin cushion. And lastly is the World Around, which is the tiny, not even sure what that's mounted in. It's a vintage glass paperweight that it's mounted in. It looks like that. So you get quite a few possibilities in this book. It's $24. And I just thought it would make a cute little compilation, so to speak, if you were to stitch the chart, the Gifts of the Season chart, and do the littles and display them, you know, with the sampler. But it didn't make the cut this time. And a couple other ones that I got. The Floss Abilities is new to the shop. There's the Cabin in the Woods, which I just find very unique looking. I think Connie is stitching this one. I love those trees. Aren't they pretty? Very pretty. And also from Floss Abilities is Trick or Treat Town, which, you know, who doesn't love a good Halloween town? It looks like that. Those are all available at the shop, should you be interested. And speaking of the shop, it is open while I am away having surgery. The hours are Wednesday and Friday from 11 to 4 and Saturdays from 10 until 2. And that will be the way it is until further notice. I will post any updated hours on the calendar on the website and on Facebook. I am not touching the Google hours because I have a real hard time getting Google to change anything. And if I get them to change the hours to temporary hours, I might not get them changed back to normal hours once I'm back and up to speed. So don't rely on Google hours until further notice. You can call the shop before you go if you're traveling, please, and make sure that we're going to be open. Like I said, I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to go in with the robot or whether they're going to have to do an actual incision. So I'm not sure what my recovery time is going to be, is what I'm saying. So, but Sherry and Doreen will both be there. I don't know if they'll be there at the same time or whether they're going to tag team. I wanted to back up in case, you know, something happens to Sherry. She's having some trouble with her knee. So I just needed to have a backup person just in case. And is there anything else? I can please go visit them so that they're not sitting there in the empty shop all by themselves. I would appreciate that. And I appreciate your continued support during this time. With that, I think I will call this good because it's fairly long, about 40 minutes. Like I said, I will have another video coming out. And riddle me this. And I know some of you are not interested. But if it's an overwhelming number that would prefer not to see home improvement, home decor stuff on this channel, I can always make a second channel for that sort of thing, which I've been considering doing. But if you don't mind it on this, it just makes it easier for me to just put it all together. You don't, I always put it on the end, so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. But we did a thing. We're doing a thing. I thought I would share it with you if that would interest you at all, or if it's going to annoy people, then I won't on this channel. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. In a kind and gentle fashion, of course. You don't have to be mean about it. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I still got to run to the bank and make a deposit for the shop and take this stuff back so that they're not missing it whilst I am gone. And until I see you again, you take care. Get lots of stitching done. Enjoy the last few weeks of summer. I know it's been ungodly hot here and humid. Not that I mind that. I would much rather have that than cold. And these people that I'm watching on the YouTube who are talking, oh, I can't wait for fall. I can't wait for fall. We're just getting into summer. Don't wish that away. I like my summertime. So, all right, take care. I'll see you next time.